This is going to be a very exciting day. I'll let everybody take their seats. We have so much planned. So excited to see everybody. Again, welcome to the Houston Business Journal's 2026 Most Admired CEO Awards. I'm Tracy Pelter. I'm Market President and Publisher of the Houston Business Journal, and so delighted to see so many wonderful, welcoming, smiling faces out there. Today, we are recognizing an extraordinary group of leaders whose vision, integrity, commitment to excellence are shaping Houston's business community. But before we continue, I'd like to point out two helpful resources available to you today. First, you're going to see a QR code on the screen and another at the center of your table that will take you directly to today's digital event program, where you can learn more about this year's honorees, our sponsors, partners, and follow along with today's program. You're also going to see a QR code on the screen for a special HBJ subscription of almost 70% off the regular rate, available exclusively for today. So if you're not a subscriber, we invite you to take advantage of this rate and stay connected to Houston's leading source for local business news. I'd now like to recognize the incredible sponsors and partners whose support makes today's event possible. First, we'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, PNC Bank. Your partnership and continued investment in Houston's business community help make today's celebration possible. It is now my privilege to introduce Julie Sedeth, Executive Vice President and Regional President for PNC Bank in Greater Houston. Julie, yes, let's give Julie a round of applause. So for those of you who don't know Julie, she is not only a highly respected banking leader, but a dedicated champion for our community, committed to strengthening the businesses and organizations that help Houston thrive. So please join me in welcoming Julie to the stage for a few remarks.
Thanks, Tracy. Good afternoon, everyone. As Tracy said, I'm Julie Sedeth, and I serve as the Regional President for PNC Bank here in Houston. When the HBJ announced this year's honorees, I think what caught my attention initially was just what a wide range of industries that are represented by the list. I feel so fortunate to know a number of this year's honorees personally, and I think what stands out to me is that each of you really understands that driving results is only part of leadership, that the harder part perhaps is building an organization where people are doing their best work, and then of course leaving your community better than you found it. That kind of leadership runs on relationships, knowing people well enough to understand what they need and then connecting them to it. It's the same belief that shapes how we serve Houston at PNC. Our clients, we don't think, should have to choose between a banker who understands their business and the capabilities of a national institution. We give you both, organized around exactly what you're trying to accomplish. And I think that's why today's event means so much to us at PNC. I'm especially excited to be recognizing Arch Aplin here in the front with the Lifetime Achievement Award. For nearly 2 decades, I've been fortunate to have watched the entrepreneurial instinct and loyalty to Texas that run through everything that you've built. Beaver, you started with a single store and built a name that's recognized well beyond this state. Buc-ee's is iconic, but the Buc-ee's name is only part of your legacy. The rest is in the people that you've brought up through your company and the communities that are better for having you in them. So the recognition's well earned. Before I close, I would also like to recognize my PNC colleagues here at the 2 front tables. Would you please wave? If you don't know them, you should. They're amazing. On behalf of everybody at PNC, I just want to congratulate the 2026 Most Admired CEOs and congratulate Beaver on a lifetime of achievement that speaks for itself. Houston is a stronger city because of the way each of you lead. We're glad to be here to celebrate you and the organizations that you represent for all the great that you do in our city. So thank you and congratulations.
Please Please turn your attention to the screen for a special message from PNC Bank.
At PNC Bank, we believe leadership isn't just about business. It's about building stronger communities and supporting our neighbors, businesses, and organizations. That's why we're proud to celebrate this year's Most Admired CEO honorees, visionary leaders shaping the future of the Houston region. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. At PNC, we work alongside many of these outstanding leaders, investing in what matters, from early education through PNC's Grow Up Great initiative to supporting arts and culture across our entire region. We cheer on the Houston Texans, the Houston Rockets, and the Houston Astros. And as our region grows, PNC is expanding our presence with new branches. We're deepening relationships and helping more neighbors and businesses access the tools they need to move forward. To everyone here today, thank you for your leadership. Together we're building a stronger, smarter, more vibrant Houston. And again, congratulations to this year's honorees.
So thank you so much, Julie and PNC Bank. We'd also like to recognize our gold sponsors. First Community Credit Union, led by CEO and one of today's honorees, TJ Terzarina, and COO Jennifer Kilgore, as well as Good Company Restaurants, who hosted our fabulous VIP reception last week at Armadillo Palace, represented by Ashley Nucci. Thank you, First Community Credit Union and Good Company, for your commitment to supporting Houston's outstanding leaders and for helping make today's celebration so special. Also, a thank you to our silver sponsors, J.D. Regard at Cane River Pecan Company, who sent some special treats to all of our honorees, Brian West and his team at Forvis Mazars, as well as Steve Keene, Katie Pryor, Michelle Poindexter, and the entire Greater Houston Partnership team. We're also grateful to our contributing sponsors, BDO and CLA, and Dagan Recruiting and Executive Firm. Thank you for your continued partnership and investment in Houston's business community. And we have so many community partners we need to thank as well. The Greater Houston LGBTQ+ Chamber of Commerce, Norton Ditto's Men's Store, which has been helping Houston men look their best for more than 100 years, American Leadership Forum, and the Greater Houston Black Chamber. Also, of course, a thank you to our event partners, Houston Awards, for creating the beautiful awards our CEOs are going to receive today, Prime Systems, who always puts an incredible, outstanding audiovisual production for us at all our events, and of course the Houstonian, where we're sitting right now, which has done such a fabulous job for our luncheon. And finally, a thank you to our media partner, David Loving and James over at KHOU 11, for helping to spotlight the remarkable leaders we're honoring today and helping to share their stories throughout the community. In fact, they're also recording today's event that you can watch later on the KHOU website. And of course, we want to recognize the organizations that all purchased premium tables for today's event. Their logos are displayed on the screen. So please join me in thanking all our sponsors, supporters, and partners. So I now have the incredible privilege of presenting the Houston Business Journal's 2026 Lifetime Achievement Award to Arch Aplin III, better known as Beaver. After graduating from Texas A&M University, Beaver opened the first Buc-ee's location in Lake Jackson in 1982. Over the past 4 decades, he has grown that single store into an iconic and beloved brand, redefining the convenience store and travel center experience. Today, Buc-ee's, as we all know, is a destination in its own right, known for exceptional customer service, quality, and a level of excellence that has earned a loyal following across the country. But Beaver's impact extends far beyond business success. He has served as chairman of the Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission, contributed to numerous educational and civic initiatives, was inducted into the Texas Business Hall of Fame in 2024, and was recognized as a distinguished alumnus of Texas A&M in 2025. But his commitment to future generations is also so remarkable. Throughout through his transformational $60 million commitment to Texas A&M, Beaver helped establish the Aplin Center, creating new opportunities for students and advancing innovation in business, hospitality, and leadership education. That gift stands among the most significant in the university's history and reflects his enduring belief in investing in people and possibilities. Beaver's story is one of vision, hard work, generosity, and unwavering pursuit of excellence. Now, if you'll please join me in welcoming HBJ's 2026 Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, Arch Beaver Aplin III, to the stage for a brief conversation. Thank you so much for being here. This is such a treat for all of us. We're thrilled you could be here. And so what many people don't know is when we were thinking about this year's Lifetime Achievement honoree, you know, when we planned this probably 9-10 months ago, and I had reached out to his team and said we would love to have him. I hope that he would accept, and so gracious and kind that he would do it, and we're really thrilled. As we all know, of course, Buc-ee's is a cultural phenomenon. When you opened your very first store, did you ever imagine that people would plan road trips around seeing your stores? Collect merchandise, wear the logo. Everywhere you go, someone's got some Buc-ee's logo item on. Was there ever a moment when you realized this had become bigger than just a convenience store?
Thank y'all for having me. This is quite an honor, and I don't even know what to say, so thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here among a lot of friends and fellow Texans. So this is all I've really done all of my adult life, and so no, it never quite occurred to me in 1982 at the age of 23 years old when I opened the first Buc-ee's that we would end up here having this conversation. So no, it has been an evolution. It's grown. We've prospered. We've had a lot of fun. We're still having a lot of fun with it. But back then, I had no way of knowing. I do remember at a very young age, at literally 23, thinking that I needed some name and some logo that I could grow with. You know, I didn't want to Stop and Shop or something like that. And so I guess at a very young age, I kind of had a what if, but never really expected this.
Absolutely. Well, of course, one of the things that sets Buc-ee's apart is your relentless focus on the customer experience. You have spotless restrooms, we all love them, yes, absolutely. Extremely friendly employees, they're so helpful. Great food, no one can walk out of there without spending a lot of money because we love it. And those sound like simple ideas, but yet very few companies can execute that consistently. What leadership lessons do you think every CEO can take away from the philosophy of sort of focusing on the customer experience?
You know, those are the most basic comments. I mean, most basic thoughts about what you do. I can't imagine what a business or a CEO or everyone that works with that company should focus on other than the customer experience. It's, in my opinion, clearly the most important, if not the kind of almost only thing you focus on. We have found that if you do an incredible job and if you're maniacal about it and all you want to do is take care of the customer, that they will come to realize it, and they will appreciate it, and whatever your business is, over time, it will pay dividends. And so, I don't know where this came from. As I say, I started very young. You mentioned the clean restrooms. Well, the story behind that, quite frankly, is very fortunate. My first two kids were girls, and I was a pretty involved dad. And when you start traveling with your daughter, and you end up going to back in the day, the two cleanest were the Texaco restrooms and the McDonald's, and they were pretty horrible. Sorry, McDonald's. But when you're a dad and you're taking your daughter, the light bulb went off to me about just the basic importance of that need when people are traveling. And so you mentioned clean, you mentioned the customer-friendly customer service. All of those things that revolve around, quite frankly, is just giving the customer a real value and a real appreciation of their business. And so there's a long ways around your question is what would I say to someone that was thinking about what to do with their business, especially if they're in leadership. And I would say figure out who your customer is and take care of your customer, whatever that means. Whether it's manufacturing, whether it's sales, whether it's retail, I don't know that it really matters. Take care of your customer. And it sounds so cliche, but you also followed up by saying so few people do it. And what a kind of basic business we went into. I mean, it's just a convenience store business. But there was an opportunity to treat every customer that comes through the door as they deserve. And over time, they learn to appreciate it.
Well, you talked kind of about, of course, sort of the basics, and you do that extraordinarily well. If you were starting your career today with the same entrepreneurial spirit that you have, but no Buc-ee's, is there a different type of business or opportunity that would capture your attention, and why?
No Buc-ee's, for real?
Buc-ee's Junior, maybe? I don't know.
If I wanted, I guess I know the answer to that because I'm living it a little bit in some of the philanthropy things that my wife and I are doing at Texas A&M University. But if I was starting over and if I want to pursue the entrepreneurial direction, and that doesn't mean that the other is not a phenomenal direction. Being leadership of a major corporation is exceptional life and has many, many opportunities. But if I wanted to go the entrepreneurial route, which is kind of how I was wired from birth, I guess, I think there's real opportunities in hospitality, in food and beverage, in businesses where you can touch the public and you can make a difference and you can be special. I would hate to be starting out and decide that I'm going to go up against Amazon or
Right.
Microsoft or something like that. I mean, so as an entrepreneurial, I think you got to start in something that's obviously small. You're starting out, but something that you can have forward-facing, that you can meet your customer, you can know your customer, you can provide a phenomenal service. And I think there's a real opportunity in food and beverage and in hospitality to do that. Some businesses, they're so big economies of scale that you are just so far behind if you tried to go into. So for me, entrepreneurial, I don't care what town you go to, including Houston, Texas. This sounds corny, but if you make the best cheeseburger in Houston, Texas, and the best fries, people will line up. And you can do that in in boutique hotels. You can do that in the restaurant business. There's a lot of ways where hospitality that you can do it, but not be so far behind on the economies of scale, because those giant companies have a really hard time of getting down to that level of customer service and quality, because as you get really big, it becomes very difficult to do that. So I think I would go towards something in that venue. And that's one of the reasons I got excited about Texas A&M University and the School of Hospitality that we're building on the campus, and the opportunity I see for so many young people to make their mark in their community. And they're also scalable. I mean, I think what we do is hospitality. I know it's retail, I know it's convenience, but I also look at it as hospitality, and if we're the most hospitable retail convenience group, then the customers they'll come to us. So that would be my answer.
Love it. I love it. Well, as this summer, I think all of us got such a kick out of the fact that we all love Buc-ee's, but we had all these international visitors here for World Cup. And every time we turn around, people are posting on TikTok and Instagram that they have discovered Buc-ee's. And we all know how wonderful it is, but okay, so what was that like for you? Seeing people, all these international visitors posting selfies with the beaver, with beaver nuggets, and of course making a stop that they all had to stop as part of their trip.
Well, it was surreal. I don't watch a lot of soccer. As a matter of fact, I'm watching the games and I'm saying, why are the clock said it was over and they keep going. I really don't even understand the rules, but I got quite into it. It was a lot of fun, and I think it's an event that kind of captured the planet, so to speak. There were so many people interested in watching that, and we were fortunate to have it here in our country. And so it was surreal to see people that are traveling and they come to our country and they see and experience things that they've never had in countries all over the world, and that at some level kind of influenced them and made them smile and made them happy and made them want to take a selfie and post it or talk about it. And so it was a very surreal moment, and it also made me appreciate our country and the opportunities that we have here and the products and the offerings. And the biggest kick, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was very excited about their excitement about Buc-ee's, but the biggest kick to me was that they had just discovered ranch dressing. And I remember how excited I was when I was literally a kid and my mom made ranch dressing the first time. I was like, what the heck? And I've loved it ever since. And so they're decades behind on what we experience and we take for granted. And so it was fun, and I had a lot of friends reach out to me and communicate, can you believe this person said this person said that, but their love for what we do and take for granted, some of the things we do. They got excited about Walmart, they got excited about Whataburger, they got excited about ranch dressing, Dr. Pepper. I mean, the things that we've been excited about for a long time. And so it was neat. It was very much a humbling experience.
Well, one of the things, of course, I think that we all feel when we walk in your stores is just sort of the scale of everything. Can you share one statistic with us that really illustrates the scale, something that might surprise people in this room? Maybe, I don't know, amount of beef jerky sold in a day, or beaver nuggets made, or I don't know, whatever you think.
Well, there's a lot of jerky and a lot of beaver nuggets. I'll tell you something that just hit me in the last few days. We traveled to Yellowstone National Park, which is our first national park. If you hadn't been there, I highly recommend it. And we had an opportunity to meet the superintendent of the park, which was a gentleman, fine fella. And we were talking about visitors that go to Yellowstone on an annual basis. And we were talking about other national parks. And a scale or a fun fact that I didn't know is that we track our visitors that come to our stores. And what I didn't know until just a few days ago is that we have more visitors that come to our stores than all of the national parks combined. Now, that's a bit of scale that I didn't think about. And so, wow.
That's a big number. So the CEOs that we're honoring today are leaders like you who have built organizations that are leaving a lasting impact. When you look back on your journey, is there one lesson you've learned that sort of always guides you?
It kind of all comes back to the same old cliche, and it just kind of sounds so simple, but it really, I kind of think is so simple, is it's just own, manage, run a business and offering that you're proud of for your community, that you're proud of for your associates, your employees, that you're proud of for your family, that you're proud of for your community, for your state. Take care of your customer. Just do the right thing. I mean, I think this is business is hard. I do not mean to make this sound like business is easy. It is not. It's hard. It's every day. It never stops. It eats and breathes 24/7 all the time. And sometimes I have to check myself and disconnect a little bit so you can kind of relax. And it's pretty basic. Do the right thing. Be honorable, live by your word, be a family man. And one of the things that I'm able to do now that I'm enjoying so much, I didn't know I would enjoy it this much, quite honestly, but I'm at a stage in my career where we can start giving back to the community some, whatever the community means to you individually, through philanthropy, through however you do it. It doesn't matter, you know. You can do it in a level at your community. You can volunteer, whatever. But we've been so blessed in our family and I'm finding myself getting more and more enjoyment out of giving back, giving some of it. So do the right thing, work hard, and make your family proud.
Well, kind of as we come into our last question, touching on that, you know, you have built this incredible company, obviously, but one thing too you've done is create thousands of jobs for people, and especially in a lot of small towns across now America. What do you want? Do you have a certain thing that you, when you look back on your career years from now, what do you want your legacy to be?
Disruptor in a kind way, somebody that took an industry that was very, very saturated, very, very, you know, it's not, I did not come up with the secret formula to Coke. I wish I had. It would have been way easier and way bigger, but I think to be an inspiration to anybody, I mean, I grew up in a super small town, okay, a little less than an hour from Houston, town of Lake Jackson, and you can grow up in a small town and enter into an industry that has been very, very, very well established, and you can and make your mark. And you don't have to do it on an entrepreneurial level. You can do it on a lot of levels. But we were and are a bit of a disruptor for an industry, and I also appreciate, I now go into stores, because I do go shop the competition, if you will. And sometimes I get a personal grin. At first I got agitated, now I grin about it. When I see them lifting their game, trying to be a better design, a cleaner, a better, and so that's not just what Buc-ee's brings to the public, but it's expanding because others are trying to catch up or to stay in the game or do whatever you have. So I would like to say that I hope that because of Buc-ee's, we're providing a better opportunity and a better experience for the families traveling on vacation.
Well, thank you so much. I know that I so appreciate you being here and sharing your time and your words of wisdom with us, and knowing that we have more people going into Buc-ee's than the parks all combined. So if you all will now please join me congratulating Beaver. We're going to present the official award. Yes.